50, 45, there goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow! Oh my God! Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome on in, everyone, to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 449. Today is Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024, and playoff baseball is here, baby. How the hell you doing?
I'm a little sick again, Dill. I don't know what's going on. I think my niece and nephew got me this time.
Again, that's like twice in like 2 weeks.
Nah, twice in the month, in the past like 30 calendar
But you don't
days.
get sick like that.
Exactly. That's why I think this one is just a niece and a nephew.
Okay.
I think I'll be good in like 2 days because it's not too rough, but you're going to hear a few sniffles, and I apologize for that, people.
All right, we'll power through it, kid, but hope you feel better. But, kid, we got a great episode for you. We'll recap Sunday Night Football, the Monday Night Football doubleheader. Thank God it was Lions and Seahawks on the second game because that first game was bad. We got our power rankings through 4 weeks. We got Thursday Night Football, a little showdown in the NFC South between the Buccaneers and Falcons. And then, like I said at the top of the show, playoff baseball is upon us. We're recording this Tuesday night in the middle of the Mets and the Brewers game, 8-4 with the bases loaded. Life is good. Life is good right now, kid. But let's get into it. Sunday Night Football, Ravens, they're back 35-10. They take care of the Bills at home. Lamar Jackson, we said it like in week one when they won. This is the game plan they need. They need to lean on Derrick Henry, 24 carries for 199 yards. He had that long 87-yard touchdown to start the game. Justice Hill, have yourself a day as well. I know everyone else really wasn't involved, but they didn't need to. They just ran it down their throat the whole game, and Buffalo really couldn't stop them. It seemed like Buffalo defense has kind of regressed a little bit. Josh Allen, I didn't think played that bad. He tried to spin out, try to elude and try to put the team on his back, but they had no running game. I didn't think James Cook played all that well. And outside of Khalil Shakur, they really didn't get anything going on the passing game as well. Big win for the Ravens. I think they're back.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are definitely back. A very dominant home win by the Ravens. Derrick Henry got the ball rolling. That's 2 weeks straight. He looked dominant. I'm going to just give him the 200 yards. So I know he probably don't like it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say that man ran for 200 yards. Well, he caught one as well, right? So, yeah, 2 tutties. Yeah. Man, Derrick Henry was special. Like you said, Justice Hill as well. They just overpowered the Buffalo Bills. Lamar didn't really need to do much, over the in the air or the ground, 54 yards rushing. I think buck 56 passing. The only thing I can honestly say that's to the Ravens is I wish I'll see Zay Flowers a little more involved. Mark Andrews has been non-existent. Isaiah Likely, except week 1, has been non-existent. So I just want to see those playmakers be more involved if I'm a Ravens fan, because that's when I think I will see the full potential for the Ravens. Because now Derrick Henry and the running game got the ball rolling. Now I want to see those outside weapons get it going. And I think that's when we see the best Ravens team. And with Buffalo, Dill, I wouldn't stress it. It's just a tough loss to one of the best teams in all of football, in the Baltimore Ravens. They were due for a loss. Great hot start. I wouldn't be too worried about it. I think Josh Allen and the team just laid a dud, Dill. And those will happen occasionally throughout the season. It's just how you bounce back from it.
100%. And, us being there, we know playing at the bank is a tough environment. Sunday Night Football, standalone. The Ravens were going to come out prepared like they always do. And I'll say this. I agree. I think they could throw the ball more, but this isn't the team. They're a run-first team, and we see it. That's why you go out and
absolutely.
Get it.
But what we saw in the first 2 weeks, still the running game couldn't really get it going. Derrick Henry didn't come alive, and those outside weapons didn't really make anything. Besides Isaiah Likely week 1 in that comeback, Dill, that's why you lost those 2 games, Dill, because the outside weapons can't get you 200 yards.
Yeah.
When Derrick Henry gets the ball rolling, Lamar's rolling, y'all winning games. Everything's looking good. But when that's not happening, Dill, you're 0-2. So
Yeah.
that's my thing. You gotta those eyesight weapons. They need to get addressed, and they need to start making plays.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Todd Monken is not asking Lamar to throw the ball all that much, 13 for 18. If he could do that consistently,
Yeah,
I'll tell you this, the Baltimore Ravens are going to win a lot of games. I think
yeah,
they're back, and I still believe in the Buffalo Bills. Just like you said, standalone game, Sunday Night Football on a team that's desperate for a win. This was a tough game for the Buffalo Bills. So, yeah, credit to the Ravens. I think they are back, and this defense played phenomenal as well, really getting pressure on Josh Allen. Even put Mitchell Trubisky in when it got a little closer to the end of the game. But, yeah, big win to close out Sunday night. Let's go over to Monday. Like I said, let's just touch on this game real quick. Will Levis gets hurt early. It looked like he kind of shit his pants when he was crying on the bench, did it not? It looked like he was crying or something was going on with Will Levis, but didn't matter. Mason Rudolph came into the game. Another guy really didn't blow you away with the stat line, but Tony Pollard had himself a hell of a day. 22 carries for 88 yards. He had the touchdown, had a nice long 41-yard run as well. DeAndre Hopkins kind of got involved, but what do you expect with Mason Rudolph coming in late? They did just enough to get the win, though, kid.
yeah. Will Levis with that dive, ended up hurting his shoulder, but he was a little sore or whatever it was, though. But I think at the end of the day, he got benched because Mason Rudolph came in and got a couple first downs, got the ball running, ended up getting points on the board, got a field goal, and I think the head coach was like, you know what, let's just keep the ball rolling because Will Levis had another bad interception. You saw him on the sideline. He told his coach, "I never saw him." That's an issue. You should see him. You should definitely know where he's at and where he's rolling. Definitely on a drop back zone. So, that I feel like Mason Rudolph came in and played well enough to possibly earn him another week starting. He didn't blow you away. 9 for 17 is not great. I'm not gonna toot the horn or whatever, but he played well enough to win the game. He didn't put the ball in harm's way, 0 turnover, only got 1 sack. I know he only got 85 passing yards, but he played well enough to win the game. Yeah, maybe Will Levis does win this game, but is it 31 to 12? Is there much interesting than that? I don't know. So I think Mason Rudolph at least earned the discussion for first team reps and possibly another week starting off that performance. And then with Miami, Mike McDaniels, he's going through it. He just signed that contract in the offseason to extend them for a couple of years. And right now, it's bad for Miami. Tyler Huntley did not look good. He just came in last week, so I'm not going to bash him because he is a Pro Bowl. We saw what he's capable of doing, if he's there for full off season. But, one thing I can honestly say with Miami that's looking bad is a lot of tension on the sideline. Tyreek Hill didn't look happy. Mike McDaniels didn't look happy. He looked frustrated. Even Tua, it was moments where the camera went to him. He looked pissed off. So definitely a lot of tension and a lot of, pissed off people on that Miami sideline and locker room just because, it was some expectations. I picked Miami to win the division. I thought they would be the best team in the AFC this year. And to be honest, is no real realistic timeline for Tua as of right now.
Yeah.
And if I'm Tyreek Hill, if I'm Jalen Waddle, is my season done? That's how I'm looking at it. Am I going to put a thing out there to get traded? Because as of right now, it looks like Miami's going nowhere fast.
Yeah, real quick, just wanted to put an icing on the cake. I'm glad Tennessee was able to finally get a win because I do think there were certain games earlier in the season where they did enough to win the game. I agree. Real quick on the quarterback situation, I think he was fine to go back in, but I think the coach said, you know what, I can't deal with the mistakes. What I saw.
And I think real quick, though, I think it was Louis Riddick, the announcer, who said he was like, you know what? I'm gonna think about rushing Will Levis back in the game because I kind of like it when Mr. Rudolph came in the game and got 2 first downs.
How many times can we give Will Levis the benefit of the doubt? I know you were high on him going into the season, but at a certain point, Mason Rudolph, look what he did last year. He won a few games with the Pittsburgh Steelers and got him into the playoffs. He's proven it. Say what you want. He might not be a starting quarterback, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, being a sufficient backup quarterback in the NFL is a hard thing to do. So coming into the game, I thought he did okay. I know he didn't pass for a whole lot of yards, and the passing game isn't where Callahan wants it to be, but I thought he did okay. And I agree. I think he did enough to actually take Will Levis's job. Because at the end of the day, he's not going to turn the ball over. Will Levis is hurting your team. He might throw for 230 yards, but those 2 picks or that fumble is going to kill you.
And it's bonehead mistakes. It's not like it's like a tip pass or just a tight, great play by a defender or something like that. It's like, you throw it in the double coverage, you're flicking it back to a receiver.
Yeah, it's inexcusable.
Inexcusable mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's what you're not going to get those type of headaches for Mason Rudolph. He's going to take care of the ball. He knows, what? One of the best plays we saw from Mason Rudolph was, I think, his second first down conversion when he looked at his first read at D-Hop, and then he looked at his second read and threw the ball over the middle. It was a little behind target, Dill, but that's something Will Levis won't be able to do at this moment.
Yeah.
So
and he won't be afraid to cut it down and check it down to his running back or tight end.
Exactly. Mason Rudolph is a vet. He's not a starting quarterback. He's not a Pro Bowler. But guess what? If you need him to, just manage the game for 4 or 5 games, he could win 2 or 3 of those out of those 5.
100%. And I think at the end of the day, I know they only saw maybe 3.5 quarters, 3 quarters, whatever you want to say. I think Callahan and this coaching staff trusts him more than they do Will Levis at this point. And that says a lot. So, and on the other side, I think you hit it on the head. I'm not going to blame Tyler Huntley. I mean, he is a Pro Bowler at the end of the day, but he was there for a week?
6 days.
Yes, not even a week. So I'm not going to hurt him, but you're right. There's high tensions because they have all the talent there. I know the quarterback in Tua got hurt,
but the defense is pretty damn good for playing at a high level. Offensively, we know what they are, Dale. It's just,
but their defense isn't playing like that. They can't stop the run. I mean, Tony Pollard had himself one of the best days of the season so far. So they couldn't stop the run. They stopped the pass. But, I mean, like we said, it's Mason Rudolph. So against a better quarterback, I think they're going to struggle. And the problem is they can't get off the field. That's also the problem. It doesn't matter how good you are. We saw with the Jets last season. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. If you can't get off the field, you're going to eventually give up points. So it eventually got to him in the second half, and that's when they kind of pulled away. They finally were able to score a touchdown on Tyler Huntley's rushing touchdown. But yeah, you saw Tyreek Hill yell. You even saw Tua just like in his street clothes, kind of like roll his eyes. Like it's getting bad over there because they have all the talent. How patient are you if you're Tyreek Hill? Because if you look at his old team, you should have never really left Patrick Mahomes, and now they're desperately need a wide receiver. Do you think maybe because we'll talk about it in a little bit. You saw Devontae Adams say, hey, I won out. We talked about that in the summer. If you are struggling, he might win out. There's a possibility Tyreek might be gone.
I'll say no just because he just signed that contract extension. If this was like next year deal, I'd be like, possibly. But he just signed an extension. I think they want him and Jalen Waddle pair. They both got a 2 or 3 year deal. I think Jalen got a 3-year. And Tyreek got a 2-year extension because he's already on a deal. If I'm Miami, I want to keep those two together. Maybe, in the offseason, try to get a quarterback. We'll see what Tua, ends up doing or being, or just try to go in the draft. Because as of right now, you're 1-3, one of the worst records in football as of now. And let's just say this quarterback plays continues. You're going to have a lottery pick. You're going to have a top 3, top 5 pick.
Yeah. And, they probably won't go quarterback depending on the status of Tua. But, yeah, like you said, Tennessee 1-3. They're in 3rd place in their division. They're ahead of Jacksonville 0-4. And Miami, you picked them, and you said they have a good defense. But like I said, when you're on the field, they've allowed 103 points this season. That's the most in the division. New England has allowed 87. The Jets have allowed 62, the least. And Buffalo's allowed 83. So, sitting at 1-3, you guys are actually in 3rd place right now. So shout out you guys. But thankfully we had the second Monday night doubleheader, and this one was a much better game. Kind of got away from them in the second half, but Lions pull away and win 42-29 at home. They improved to 3-1 on the year as well. Seattle suffers their first loss. Remember I was like, lean Geno over 250. The kid almost threw for 400 yards, a career high. 38 for 56. Kenneth Walker came back. He had 3 touchdowns on the ground as well. DK had a nice play outside of the the fumble, I thought DK played an amazing game. Jackson Smith and Jigba, what a sweat that was, getting over 49.5 receiving yards. But Tyler Lockett, I thought they played well enough. The defense finally regressed, I thought, from Mike McDonald. Thought the defense finally kind of regressed for the Seahawks. They didn't look good stopping the run. 78 yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery had 40 yards. He had a touchdown as well. Jamison Williams had that nice long touchdown as well. It was good to see Sam Laporta back there catching a few balls as well. And this is encouraging signs because, Jared Goff, he threw almost for 300 yards, 18 for 18, perfect on the night. It was good to see he caught one. It was the Detroit special or whatever you want to call it. But I thought it was very encouraging from the offense from Detroit because from your number one, he really didn't have a standout game. St. Brown, only 6 catches for 45 yards. He did have the touchdown, but, he really didn't blow you away. So very encouraging, still putting up 42 points.
Yeah, Dale, this game was honestly just an offensive showcasing. Jared Goff went perfect. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery collectively both had, great games. That catch and run by David Montgomery was just electric there when he broke like 6 or 7 tackles. He was nuts. Jameis Williams, that big catch and run. DK doing his thing. Kenneth Walker was just flat out special last night, returning from injury. Dale, one thing I can honestly say is Seattle's defense just didn't show up. What defense had been looking pretty good all year. Detroit just, I wouldn't say exposed them, but just had a field day on them. I think they'll bounce back, and I think they'll be just fine. Geno Smith has been playing lights out. I think this is definitely the best version of Geno Smith we've seen so far. Even better from 2 years ago, Dill. I don't know what it is, but he's just seeing the field very well. Like he's doing first option, second option, third option. I see a couple plays when he hit his third option, Dill. So Geno Smith is just developing at age 32, and he's getting better in this league. I can't stress it enough. The wide receiver core, collectively showed up. I feel like Seattle, they did their thing. It's just their defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. I think they got one stop yesterday. I think Lions punted one time, and that came midway in the third quarter. So, the defense just had to play better. It was just a tough spot. But Detroit, like you said, Jared Goff was perfect. Give him credit, but to me, both defenses were, didn't show up in both offenses. Detroit was just able to punch it in a few more times.
Yeah, I can't believe the line opened, or the total, opened around like 46, 47. They almost went over it themselves. But yeah, the defense kind of regressed a little bit, but this is a very good offense. So won't think too much into it. I do think Geno and the boys will play a little better, especially their defense. And yeah, kid, overall, it was a very impressive weekend here. By the way, I just got an update from Adam Schefter. Going back real quick to the Titans. Titans star defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons, he suffered Tommy John a ligament tear in his left elbow that caused him to miss the rest of the game. I was wondering why he got out early in the game. He's going to get Tommy John surgery in his left elbow. So that's a tough blow for a team that's struggling. He's going to miss significant time. And, this is a team that struggles to get pressure on the quarterback to begin with. Now you miss out on one of your best defensive linemen. That's a tough blow real quick, kid.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think Tennessee's going to have to work through it. I think they'll still be able to get pressure to the quarterback. It's just they're going to have to game plan differently moving forward. Hopefully he recovers quick. Tommy John surgery, and it's gonna take a while. I understand he's not throwing a baseball, people, but he's gonna still need at least 6 to 8 weeks.
At least.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 8 weeks.
But overall, very profitable week. I go 3-1 Monday Night Football to end 10-6 again. Week 4. That's 4 straight winning weeks for me. Kid, overall, my record through the first month. Yeah, it's been 4 weeks through the NFL. 33-25. So doing really good, kid.
That's good, Dill.
Yeah.
I got fucked, Dill. I went 7-8. I should have kept the Raiders on. I took them off because of Max Crosby and Devontae Adams, but ended up going 7-8. We'll be all right. I'm pretty sure on the season I'm still up, probably by like a game. I haven't done my total yet, but we'll be back.
Yeah. You'll have it for us for before next episode on Friday. But real quick, I wanted to touch on some news before we get to our power rankings. Just rattle them off real quick. Another tough blow, another injury. DeMarcus Lawrence for the Cowboys on the injured reserve list with that foot injury he suffered on Thursday night against the Giants. So he's going to miss the whole month of October. That's a tough blow for, a 500 team right now in the Cowboys. Another guy, Von Miller, suspended the next 4 games. He's going to miss the whole month of October. His suspension stems from allegations. I don't remember it, but I don't know. You let me know if you remember. It was allegations that he assaulted his pregnant girlfriend back in November 2023 during the Bills' bye back in their home in Dallas,
Texas.
Yeah. So I honestly forgot about that. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. It happened. NFL was investigating it. The Bills are honestly, they were acknowledged. They were known that this was possibly going to take place. So I think Von Miller, hopefully everything off the field is, family wise is good, and I think Buffalo they'll be just fine without him for the next 4 weeks.
And then lastly, I mentioned it, I kind of briefly touched on it, but Raiders have informed other teams that they would, quote unquote, consider trading Davante Adams for a package. And they said it needs to include a 2nd-round pick and additional compensation. The 2 teams, obviously one, the Jets. And the other one, another team that's been in the market and on the phone with the Raiders, the Washington Redskins. I mean, give Jalen Daniels, Devontae Smith. I think he has a few more years, at least 2-3 years left, like good years. And we said this in the offseason doing our previews. If they're going to struggle and he's not happy, he's going to want out. He's already informed the Raiders that he wants to be traded. We'll see what happens. Antonio Pierce, the head coach, it looked like he liked something that it seemed that Davante Adams has played his last game. Apparently, Davante Adams said there's been no contact with him or anyone in the organization. It's a bizarre situation, kid, the way it's going down. But 1, are you surprised? And 2, I guess if not, where do you see him moving come the deadline?
Well, I'm on record saying he will be getting traded, Dale. So I'm not shocked at all. I kind of called it. That's why I took his yards total over, especially because I felt like sometime by week 8 he'll be traded, and that's exactly what's going on, Dale. I'm gonna throw a team out there that I just don't know if the Raiders will make a deal with them.
Chiefs,
the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Rashid Rice looking like he's going down with an ACL tear. You can't have. I'm not saying you can't, but Xavier Worthy, he's a rookie. Got Travis Kelce there. I think you need at least a veteran wide receiver that could possibly be your number 1 if you want the Chiefs to have a chance to 3-peat. Don't get me wrong, they can't 3-peat without. But all I'm saying is, if you want to, make it a 3-peat, go for it. I think you're gonna have to at least make a trade. Maybe not for Davante Adams, but at least a veteran wide receiver 1-ish. Can Davante can he be a great addition to the Commanders? Absolutely, Dale. Can he go to the
Jets?
The Jets? I don't know. Maybe if y'all trade Aubrey Huff in a 2nd-round pick. I mean Aubrey Huff.
No, we're gonna train Hassan Reddick. That's perfect.
Yeah,
they need that.
Hassan Reddick in a 2nd-round pick. Maybe the Raiders will be interested in that. To me, that sounds pretty good. Raiders
him, Max Crosby, that defensive line will get after him.
So I say the Jets, the Chiefs, the Commanders, maybe a wild card out there. Maybe like the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe Philadelphia. We'll see. I doubt it because AJ Brown looking like he's coming back this week, but you never know. But
I've heard the Chiefs. I've heard it, and I feel like that just makes too much sense a little bit. And I don't know if they're gonna trade someone in division.
That's the thing.
That's the thing.
So, hey, maybe the Rams make a call. They're down 2 wide receivers right now. 2nd-round pick, maybe
and they have a history of saying "fuck the picks." Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows though? But I definitely see Davante Adams in a new uniform on the field week 6.
Ooh, week 6. Okay, I was gonna ask you before Halloween, so yeah, definitely before Halloween.
I say he gets traded a week from now, Tuesday. So maybe not on the field weeks.
Maybe
on the wheel.
Yeah, maybe. It depends on what team. On what team. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, but I agree. I think he's gone within a week or 2 as well. Let's go to our power rankings, kid. Through 4 weeks. Let's go. Week 5 power rankings. We will start at number 10, and I'll lead it off this week, kid. Big bounce back win. I'm going to take them. They're 500 right now, but I still believe in them. Give me the San Francisco 49ers at number 10. I think their biggest issue, or they getting George Kittle back, really helped. Christian McCaffrey going all the way to Germany to get a second opinion. It doesn't look good. I feel like,
and it's saying that it's both legs.
Both legs now.
That's
that's not good at all. I'm starting to get concerned, if I'm being honest, but still believe in their defense. I think they did much better on third down than they did the first 3 weeks against New England. But they're gonna see much better defenses. I think the offense is gonna find its way. I think they need to find ways to consistently get stops and get the defense off the field. But I still believe in this team, kid. So give me the San Francisco 49ers at number 10.
Yeah, I can't disagree with anything you said. I just don't have them in my top 10, but they definitely will be there soon. At number 10, Dill, give me the Buccaneers. I love everything I've been seeing so far. Baker Mayfield coming alive. That's 2 weeks in a row with a rushing touchdown. He wants it, Dill. I love the way Baker been playing. That defense with Todd Bowles, we know at times he's going to be really good, and at times he's going to not show up. But overall, I think the Buccaneers are for real team. I want to say contender, but I think the Buccaneers are bound to make another playoff run. Let's just say that.
For number 9, welcome into the top 10, the Washington Redskins. I mean, what Jayden Daniels in this offense has been doing, Cliff Kingsbury's putting on him. He's been in his bag with the game he's been calling. And I'm tired of people saying online and on ESPN and all shows they're running a college offense. Who cares? More teams should be running college offenses then. If it's this successful,
I wish the Patriots was running a college offense.
It's so stupid that they're saying. I guess I don't worry. I think they're going to put up points. They don't punt the ball. Jayden Daniels, it looks like he's mature. This is the second year in a row the number 2 overall pick has been better than the number 1 overall. Last year with CJ Stroud. I don't worry about their offense. Defense, they can't stop the run. It is getting better, and I think it's going to take time to adjust to what Dan Quinn wants. But the boys are playing tough. They rank 31st in yards per carry and 27th in yards per game. Can't stop the run. That is the issue moving forward. But I do like this team. They're 3-1, kid. First place. Who would have thought a month in?
Yo, at number 9, give me the Washington Commanders. I'm going to just add on. I think Jayden Daniels has just been special. To start a career, he has the best completion percentage all time. I think that says a lot. Defensively, they're improving week in, week out. The running game with Brian Robinson Jr. is getting better with Austin Eckler, a little sprinkler running in the passing game. Terry McLaurin is getting more involved. I like the fact that him and Zach Ertz established a connection, Bill. To be honest, I'm surprised how well this Commanders team is clicking this soon. I saw this coming maybe 2-3 years from now. Not right now, Dill. I'm shocked. Give Dan Quinn credit. Give me the Commanders at number 9.
I love it, kid. At number 8 for me, give me the Houston Texans. Okay win, but I thought they should have won more convincingly here against Jacksonville. My word, Nico Collins. Can we agree he's the top 3 receiver in the league?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. We got to start making a case. He might be.
Yeah, he might be the best right now. I know Justin Jefferson's insane, but the numbers Nico Collins has been putting up is undeniable at this point. My problem with them, safeties, their corners, their safeties, their secondary has not been good right now. They run a lot of cover 4, but they let up a lot of yards, a lot of play action, and all those vertical routes deep down the field is why they allow the second most yards on play action. A lot of deep plays are against the Texans. So got to clean it up in the secondary, but I believe in CJ Stroud. I think the running game is going to get better as well, and I already know how good that receiving core is. But, clean up a little in the secondary, but I like the Texans. I'm sitting there at number 8.
So at number 8, I had to move this team back just a little bit. Give me the Seattle Seahawks at number 8. Like I said, I love everything they've been doing. It's just the defense yesterday on Monday night, I'm not going to say got exposed, but just got ran through. Like I said, Jared Goff went perfect. The running game was elite. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. Like I said, only one punt. Offensively, they That's the impressive part, though. I did not expect Geno Smith in that offense to play at this higher level this anytime this season, but to start the season. Give Seattle credit, though. I just feel like it was just a tough loss, tough night. I think the defense will bounce back. Give me Seahawks at 8.
At number 7, give me the Baltimore Ravens. Big win at home, bouncing back. I think they're back. And I think the game plan that they had against Buffalo is how they have to play. Todd Monken, just give the ball to Derrick Henry. That is why you go out and get a guy like that. He fits what they want to do so perfectly. So you don't really want to ask Lamar to do too much, but he can extend plays. I do expect Zach Ertz, Mark Andrews to get more involved as well. My problem with them, I always got to give them a little problem because they are sitting at number 7. They do give up a lot of pass plays. 10 plus pass plays over 20 yards in the air they've given up. They're forcing teams to stretch the field because they're opening up to big leads. Even the loss that they had to the Raiders had to force and stretch the ball downfield because they were down big. And that's why. So I think secondary, again, this is another team. They give up a lot of big passing plays. But if they could clean that up with Hamilton in this leading the secondary group, I do like them moving forward. I still think they're the best team in the division. It's going to take a little time, but give me the Baltimore Ravens at number 7.
Still at number 7, Dill, give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. I didn't like the fact that they were down 17-0, Dill, but I love the fact that Justin Fields was poised and he came back and fought. Almost got the win. To me, Justin Fields honestly possibly solidified the starting job for the rest of the year. I understand they lost, but he played his best game in a loss, in my opinion. So I think the Steelers will be just fine. I'm not going to overreact over one loss. Give me the Steelers at number 7.
At number 6 for me, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks. Tough loss, but like I said, that was a team that was just in the NFC Championship who put up a lot of points. Got to clean up their defense a little, and I think based on their defense, lack of turnovers, that's been a real problem for them as well. That's an area concerning. They're lacking takeaways. They've only been able to take 3 takeaways despite facing bad quarterbacks and a easy kind of schedule to begin this season. So they're generating the pass rush, but they can't take the ball away. So that's why I dropped them a little bit. They did lose. Offensive line still has to play a little better. Geno Smith was running all night as well. So love what I'm seeing from the offense. Offensive line needs to do a better job protecting him, and they need to take the ball over a little more. But I do like Seattle still. They are sitting at number 6 for me.
At number 6, they'll give me the Houston Texans. And, Joe Mixon should be back this week. With Joe Mixon in that lineup, this offense is high octane. Though we saw how great they looked week 1. Since then, I understand they're 3-1, but I agree with you. Not the most impressive 3 wins. To me, they should have not blown out the Bears, but it should have never been that close. And last week was a little more closer than it needed to be against Jacksonville. But CJ Stroud, to me, still a top 5 quarterback. I think the offense will be just fine. And I think the defense, like last year, we're going to see it start kicking up, come November, December. So I wouldn't be too worried about it right now. We just need Joe Mixon to be healthy moving forward. And I think Texas will be just fine and be back in our top 5s real soon.
Top 5, number 5 for me. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Big win for the Bucs here at home. They just routed the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles might just be a bad team, I think, at the end of the day. My pressure with Tampa Bay, though, they just generated just 2 sacks up until week 4. They had 6 over that against the Eagles, but that was against an Eagle team who's allowed Jalen Hurts to get hit 44 times in the first 3 games. So it really doesn't surprise me that they were able to get 6 sacks. But up until then, the first 3 weeks, they only had 2 sacks. So can they stay consistent? Can they get after the quarterback? We'll see Thursday night with Vita Vea and everyone. But I don't know. I think they need a little more push up front, up the middle from their defensive tackle. Like I said, Vita Vea. So we'll see. But I do like what I see from Baker Mayfield and this running game, especially with my boy Bucky Irvington. But I still like the Bucs sitting there at number 5.
At number 5, they'll give me the Buffalo Bills. I'm not gonna overreact. To me, they were just a tough night. Got tough place to play in Baltimore. The Ravens took care of business. I still think Josh Allen right now should be the lead in the MVP. the wide receiver core, still my only real concern. Are they going to be able to make the plays come playoff time, come down the stretch when it's a must needed moment, must need first down? And we saw Josh Allen when they got down in the game. The offense struggled a little bit. So that's gonna be my main concern moving forward. When they're down, can that offense and Josh Allen, you know, lead a comeback with those wide receivers? But give me Buffalo at number 5.
You dropped them a little bit, I thought.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. At number 4 for me, give me the Detroit Lions. I thought it was a great bounce back win for them at home against a good Seattle, at the time, undefeated Seattle team. Love what I saw from Jared Goff. Perfect. I think they have the best running back duo in the league. And like I said, from a below average game from their wide receiver one, they still were able to put up 42. So I like it. I do think their offensive line has actually played worse than I thought. This has been a top 5 offensive line for the past few years now, but this year they have had Jared Goff has been pressured a little more than recently. So got to clean up a little things on the offensive line, but outside of that, Detroit Lions are still a top 5 team for me.
At number 4, give me the Baltimore Ravens. I understand they're just 2-2 people, but they looked great in Dallas 2 weeks ago, and then just the other Sunday night, they demolished, honestly, looked like the best team in football in the Buffalo Bills. They just snatched them. I understand Lamar hasn't looked, like his MVP self, but he doesn't need to. He just needs to not turn the ball over, make smart decisions, and let King Henry do his thing, and then pick it from the pocket when needed. So the defense, I think they'll get better throughout the season, and I think we just starting to see this Baltimore Ravens team start rolling. I think the best is yet to come for this Ravens team.
At number 3, give me the Buffalo Bills. I like what I not saw from Sunday, but I like what I've seen overall the first month of the year. My problem with them is, can they maintain their defense with all the backups? They were able to survive the first 3 weeks with their backups, but the Ravens, they forced the Bills out of their nickel package, and everything went downhill after that. They have 3 backup linebackers on the field, and I think that's why they rushed for 217 yards. So can other teams copy the Ravens formula? We'll see. But
no, they don't got King Henry.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. They could get a boost in the coming weeks. Terrell Bernard, his pectoral, their corner, Taron Johnson, his forearm got hurt. They are respected to return the next few weeks. So guys are coming back, but I still believe in this Buffalo team. I think last week, like I said, it's an anomaly. I think it's a tough place to play, standalone game, and Lamar Jackson he just has Josh Allen's numbers. So I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I still believe in this Buffalo Bill team. I got them at number 3.
So give me the Detroit Lions at number 3. When Jared Goff goes perfect, you're able to put up 42 points when neither of your rushing runners go for 100 yards, and Amon St. Brown is hold for under 50. To me, that's impressive. I think Detroit Lions, if they just clean up a little bit on the back end defensively, they have a chance to do special things. Dan Campbell's a great head coach. Jared Goff is showing to the people that he's an elite quarterback. Offensively, I think this is one of the best offensive in football if they can stay healthy. Defensively, they don't need to be a top 5, top 10 defense. Just need to be a top 15 defense. They need to be middle of the pack. And I think they'll be just fine. Give me the Detroit Lions at number 3.
And I think number 2 and number 1 are kind of the same again for both of us. So I'll just go give my last 2. Number 2, Minnesota Vikings, 4-0. Biggest surprise of the NFL season. Their win total was 5.5. They are going to soar over that. This is a playoff team. They are as legit as they come. I mean, Brian Flores should get Defensive Coach of the Year for the schemes that he's been putting up this season. Allowed 22 points in the fourth quarter to the Packers. But, I do think they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit. But, bringing in Stephon Gilmore, I think that's why they bring in a veteran like that. He probably saw what Brian Flores was implementing and said, oh, this is going to work. That's why he remained a free agent so long. And
I'm pretty sure he was there when Brian Flores was coaching the Patriots defense.
Yeah.
In 2018, 2019, when he won Defensive Player of the Year. So
And
he's
they also
familiar.
have Pro Bowler the safety Harrison Smith as well.
Mhm.
So they have a good defense. I love what Brian Flores is doing. I think Kevin O'Connell is one of the best offensive play callers, and I think Sam Darnold is playing out of his mind. Love their weapons around him. And Green Bay, I mean, that was if Green Bay higher up saw the game on Sunday, Aaron Jones still has it. So I don't know why they let him go thinking, he doesn't have it anymore. Yeah, Aaron Jones still has it. They're still able to run the ball. You give Sam Darnold a good offensive line, a good running game, and some weapons. This team is dangerous, kid. So love Minnesota. I think they're legit. They're at number 2. And number 1, I know they're riddled with injuries right now, but they are 4-0 for a reason. I think we know their injuries for their offense, and Patrick Mahomes continues to do Patrick Mahomes things and wins the game by himself. My biggest concern is the defense. And not Chris Jones, but other guys. They need a pass rush outside of Chris Jones. Other than Chris Jones, I don't really think they're getting enough pressure on opposing quarterbacks. They just have 5.2 sacks on opponent pass attempts. That's near the bottom of the league. I think it's 27th in the league. So outside of Chris Jones, other guys need to get home and help this defense. So I need to see a little more from that front seven. But outside of that, they are 4-0, kid. They are the best team so far.
It's the same but different, though. At number 2, give me the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't deny it.
You're punishing them for being hurt.
Yeah, what you mean? The Vikings right now are a little better.
No, I know. I'm just saying you're punishing them for being hurt, which I feel like is they're still winning though.
Yeah, the Vikings are winning.
Yeah, but they're not hurt.
That's my point. Thank you, Dill. Give me the Chiefs at number 2. They're down their starting quarterback. They're down their number 1 wide receiver. Rashee Rice was the most targeted wide receiver throughout the first 3 weeks of football. We saw it on Sunday. The offense struggled in LA, Dill. They had, 7 points at halftime. Dill, that's not the Kansas City Chiefs teams we know. It had to take Travis Kelce finally getting involved for this offense to be moving the ball. The running game in week 4 struggled a little bit. Kareem Hunt was able to run the ball very good in the fourth quarter, but without that, the running game was kind of lackluster. Like you said, Aaron Jones has plenty of life left, ran the ball well. Justin Jefferson is the no doubt best wide receiver in football. Sam Darnold has been playing like a top 10, top 5 quarterback so far this season, Dill. And like you said, Brian Flores is on his way winning Assistant Coach of the Year for the performance he's been putting on that defense, Dill. I can't deny it. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs at number 2. They're riddled with injuries. I think they'll be just fine, Dill, but these next couple of weeks, Dill, I think we'll see this offense struggle just a little bit to find that new wide receiver 1. And right now, Dill, I can't deny Minnesota's been the most impressive team in 2024.
Yeah, the point I was making was I think for me personally, it shows more and it says more and it shows me that they're a better team, that they're winning with all these injuries. Like if they're losing, I'm like, okay, it's time to worry in Kansas City. But regardless of all the stuff that's going on, they're still finding ways. And I think that's a little more impressive to me. But still 4-0, the only 2 teams undefeated left. So we'll see who gets their first loss of the year. I guess the biggest surprise for me, I guess the Ravens got big jump. Bills fell a little bit for you, but outside of that, I felt like we both put the Redskins in there again. I think I had Houston a little down as opposed to you, but
yeah, you just had the Bucks at 5. I had the Bucks at 10.
Yeah, that probably was the biggest difference in our rankings. But
everything else was like 2 you had, I think Houston at 8. I have Houston at 6.
Yeah, 1 or 2 off on most of them, but yeah,
did you have the Steelers in there?
No, I put Steelers at number 12.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no. 49ers, I think, are better. Washington is definitely better. Houston, like all these offenses, I just think in a game where you're going to verse a top 10 offense, I love Justin Fields, but I just don't know where the points are going to come from. Like I worry about the offense. The defense, I do not worry about at all. 11, I had the Packers as well. And then Pittsburgh I had at 12.
Yeah, what the Jets?
You don't want to know where I put the Jets after that fucking performance.
Nah, I was just actually just
You don't want to know where you don't want to know. I don't even want to talk about them. All right, kid. Before we get to Thursday night football and we start week 5, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or a new flavor coconut watching Thursday Night Football, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. Week 5 is upon us, and we will start down in Atlanta. We got the Falcons hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right now, kind of a pick 'em. Falcons short home favorites, -1.5 on the spread, -130 on the money line. Bucks +1.5, +110 on the comeback on the money line. Over under is at 43.5. Money has come in on the under, opened up at 44.5. And the Falcons, money has come in on the Bucks. Falcons opened up a 3-point favorite. It's down now to 1.5, -1.5. We'll start with the side. Do you agree with the movement? People are on the Bucks, it seems like.
Off of Sunday's performances, just going by how both teams played, I'm on record saying that the Falcons got lucky. Cool had himself a tremendous game. Tampa had a very dominant win. I could see why the line went that way, Dill, just from Sunday,
Yeah.
I'm going to just go straight into it, Dill. I'm going to go with Atlanta Falcons on the money line, Dill, at -125. I feel like the Buccaneers, they played very high. And I think the game is about flow still. And I think the Bucs are just going to come down a little bit. And we've yet to see this Atlanta Falcons offense come alive. Bijan Robinson, I'm going to say it from fantasy perspective, been a disappointment. Drake London, he's been a little better. Kyle Pitts been honestly in and out, non-existent. DeVar Mooley's honestly been one of the main two guys on the offense. Aguilar's been getting more and more touches. Still, I have a feeling Atlanta's just going to show up tomorrow. Defensively, they've been very impressive. And I think Atlanta is just going to show up and just play a little better game. I expect the Bucs to just regress a little bit from Sunday night. I think they'll be just fine, but I think it's a tough spot for the Buccaneers.
Shout out PD Nova in the chat. We got our boy Lante as well. PD, I wanted to text you and reach out when your Broncos beat my Jets, but I couldn't take myself to text you.
Shout out PD, man. Shout out the Broncos. Shout out Sean.
Oh, no, not shout out the Broncos. No. Lante, what up, kid? Yeah, Elvis is on the Falcons money line. He says, get Kyle Pitts the hell out of here. He didn't have a catch. I'll say this with Kyle Pitts.
They need to get him involved, bro.
I'm done drafting him in fantasy. Every year he tricks me into thinking, oh, this year.
Still, the fact that you still draft him is funny.
He's my guy out of Florida. I don't know why.
That's the Jet fan in you.
Because I feel like he could be good.
No, he is good. It's just
is he though?
They'll target him. How many targets he has? How many targets he had last game? One,
I think.
What are you supposed to do with one target?
It kind of looked like
LeBron gets one shot a game.
It kind of looked like Arthur Smith out there in that offense. To be honest, I thought Arthur Smith was back on the field, but for the kid, I agree. I do lean the Falcons. Money line -1.5. I do lean there. I don't think their offense being as bad as it was, I don't think that's sustainable. I think the offense is decent. I think they have to get Kyle Pitts more involved. I do worry about the offensive line injuries for them because the Buccaneers do have a strong front seven. The problem also, my other concern with Atlanta is their coverage. I think slowly deteriorating that secondary. After looking at Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, their pass defenses have kind of declined after Kansas City and New Orleans as well. I don't know. Through four weeks, Baker Mayfield, he's been okay. He had a good game last week. I guess the major concern, though, is can Tampa Bay stop the run? Atlanta could run the hell out of the ball, and Tampa, they're 30th in stopping the run. So that's my issue with them. I do lean the Falcons on the money line as well. I lean over. I don't agree with the line movement coming down from 44 to 43. I think we're going to see another shootout here because I do think the Falcons offense is going to find some rhythm, and Buccaneers, I trust that offense in Baker Mayfield. So like I said, I think the secondary is deteriorating for Atlanta as well. So I lean over 43.5. How about player props? Because I do like my official play is a player prop, but I'll let you start it off. Any player props that you like?
I was looking for DeVar Mooney. Like I said, for some reason, Kirk Cousins, that's honestly looking like his favorite target. There's no prop on him as of right now, but I'll look for his over. And I'm tempted, Dill. Bijan Robinson over 25.5 yards receiving. We saw him have a great catch and run last week that got called back into holding. I feel that they will look for him a little more like that just because Tyler Algiers been running the ball pretty damn great. So I feel like maybe Algier will get a little more of the running game and let Bijan get more involved in just be an outside threat, make a zone read, anything, RPO option with him. But I feel like they need to get Bijan more involved outside and then Tyler Algier run the ball a little more because that offense still, I don't know what it is, but Bijan Robinson hasn't been successful running the ball yet for some reason.
Yeah, give me my boy Bucky Irving over 41.5 rushing yards. I saw it the other day at 38.5. That's what I got. I still like it in around 41, 42.5. He's gone over this number in 3 of the 4 games this season. Only miss was a tough spot versus the Lions. Other 3 games, 10 carries for 49 yards, 9 carries for 70 yards, 9 carries for 62 yards. So, like I said, Falcons, they allow a ton of volume on the ground as well. 22nd in the league in DVOA and rush defense. Atlanta's linebackers are banged up as well, besides the secondary. And let's be honest, Bucky Irving has been better than Rachaad White this year as well. His snap shares got up. He's getting a ton of volume. So in a game where I think it's going to be close towards the end, I still think Buccaneers will be able to run the ball come the fourth quarter. So I see anywhere from 10, 11 rush attempts for 49, 50 yards. I think the number is too low on my boy Bucky Irving. So I'm going to go over 41, 42.5 rushing yards for Bucky Irving. Anything else here for Thursday Night Football, kid?
Yeah, like I said, I like DeVar Mooney. He's went over his prop total 3 out of the 4 weeks still. Like I said, I think Kirk Cousins and him have some connection building. Somebody got to get the targets if Carl Pitts ain't getting it.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, Dill, I'm tempted. Dill, anytime rushing touchdown, I think Baker could get in.
Wow.
Yeah, we saw it 2 weeks straight. Baker Mayfield getting in for a touchdown, Dill. So I think what would it be at? Hold on 1 second. Let me get the exact number. Plus 500, plus 540 around there.
That's not bad.
A sprinkle, Dill. He ran it. He punched it in 2 weeks in a row, Dill. Baker got that fight in him. He got the heart. And I know if when needed, he won't hesitate to punch in it.
I love it. Hey, kid, let's start week 5 strong. Thursday night in Atlanta, Buccaneers and the Falcons.
We can both start good. I got Atlanta on the money line. You got Bucky Irving. Hopefully Bucky Irving busts his one in the first quarter early.
And then
Atlanta just stomps him the rest of the way.
Yeah, and hopefully Atlanta gets there. I think I'm going to take Atlanta as well. That is a lean, but check my action. I might get there officially as well. But I do love Bucky Irving over his rushing yards. Kid, let's get to playoff baseball. Like I said, I'm living good, not like Lante right now because he's a Yankee fan and you
gotta buy.
Yeah, he got to buy. So he's out there
next
chilling.
week, kid.
Yeah.
Good luck.
No, don't wish them luck. Don't ever
not,
wish
Bill,
the Yankees luck. No,
in our lifetime, Lante, in your lifetime, you know what's gonna happen next week? Divisional round, buddy. You know what divisional round means in your lifetime. Hideki Matsui's not out there.
Wow.
Derek Jeter's not out there.
Wow.
Mariano's not coming out the bullpen.
Wow. I love it. I love the energy because no matter who they play, Kansas City or I think it is going to be Kansas City. They won
Honestly,
today.
I want Detroit.
Well, Detroit. There's on the other side of the bracket.
I know, but I would play this. I would have went to see a game.
And we could talk about it real quick. Hey, great win for the Tigers and getting out Houston in game 1, 3-1. Tariq Skubal is going to win the Cy Young. It was a masterclass. Yeah, triple crown. I thought Framber Valdez, it didn't seem like he had it all in the first inning. Close game. They left the bases loaded in the 9th inning. It was a hell of a game. It went down to the wire. But the Detroit Tigers do take game 1. They win as a plus 120 underdog as well. Game goes under. And then Kansas City, they win outright. 3 dogs in a row cash. So if you're a trend guy, maybe take the Braves, unfortunately. But the Mets, they're winning going into the 9th inning. They're up 8-4. So dogs are barking here to start, kid. We will start on Wednesday for game 2. Only 2 games have lines up, so we'll talk about that real quick. Shout out Petey, though, as well. 3 for 3 on baseball plays. I see you, kid, on Twitter. Let's go to the first game. Hunter Brown is going to go for the Houston Astros. And for the Tigers, I think it might be Tyler Holton going. Probably a spot start, maybe a bullpen type game for the Tigers. But Houston in a do or die situation. They need to win here to force the game 3. Minus 170 on the money line, plus 146 for the Tigers. Over under is at 7.5, kid. Any play here for the first game?
Yeah, Dale. I'm gonna have to lean the run line with Houston, Dale. Must win at home, and I think they show out in this game, Dale. I think Detroit, they've been red hot. I can't deny they've honestly been one of the best teams in baseball the last 40-ish days. But I think tomorrow's a tough spot in Houston. Don't get me wrong. I want to hit Detroit on the money line again, but I just feel like in Houston tomorrow, it's a must-win, do or die, and it's just going to be tough to see this Houston team lose 2 in a row at home from all the great years these past years. So I feel like they'll live to fight another day, but Detroit will take care of business come Friday.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean the under as well. I'm gonna lean the under at even money at 7.5. Outside of the 9th inning, Houston was struggling to even get on base, let alone score runs. So I think the bullpen has really gone unnoticed. It's a top 5 bullpen in the American League right now for Detroit. They've really come along. Hottest team since August 11th. They're just on fire. They're getting hot, and that is what you need to win and play in October baseball. So, I mean, at plus 146, I don't know. I think I need a little better of a price, but I'm going to take the under here, kid. I think we see another low-scoring game. And then for game 2, between the Orioles and the Kansas City Royals, Seth Lugo is confirmed for the Royals. For the Baltimore Orioles, I believe it's Zach Eflin. It's not confirmed yet, but we do have lines. Minus 142 for the home crowd in Baltimore, plus 126 for Seth Lugo and the Royals. Over under is at 7.5. Another do or die, kid. Baltimore, I love the crowd. It looked electric in Camden Yards on TV, but the second year in a row. Last year came out kind of deflated, really didn't play well in the playoffs. And they get home field again this year and they lose game 1 again. I don't know. They just struggle in the playoffs for whatever reason. Can they win and force a game 3?
I just want to start by saying, Dale, this show love our people in Baltimore.
Oh, great people.
Great people. With that being said, give me Seth Lugo and the Kansas City Royals. Plus
it was just like a heel moment, like
plus
the WWE.
125 on the money line. With this Baltimore team, though, honestly, they've been reeling since the All-Star break. They haven't been as dominant in the second half as they were in the first half, and I think you will agree. Don't get me wrong, Kansas City I don't expect them to do much this postseason, Dill, but I expect them to at least win this next game. Give me Kansas City and Seth Lugo, Dill. To me, right now, they're just playing a little better than the better team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would lean the Baltimore Orioles because I did take this series over 2.5 games because I do think they're going to split, and I do think Kansas City will win game 3. So little chalky at minus 142. I kind of would want anything under a minus 140. So shop around. Hopefully money comes in on the Royals. But I do lean Baltimore. I lean under as well. Again, you got winds blowing in. It's going to be a cold day in Baltimore, but hopefully Baltimore extends the series and we get one more game at least in Camden Yards. The other games, they don't have lines up. Mets and Brewers are about to close it out. That's in the 9th inning right now, but Sean Manaea is going for the Mets. Atlanta and the Padres, we got Max Fried as well. So we'll see. There are no lines up yet, but I do lean the Mets as well to take care of the series, and we'll see what happens here in the fourth game between the Atlanta Braves and the San Diego Padres. Kid, before we go, I just wanted to, on a somber note, I had to mention it. The hit king, RIP to the legend Pete Rose, man. 4,256 hits. Great guy. I know, everyone says it. He had his flaws, but I'll say this, and I'll die on this hill. We all have our flaws in life. Outside of it, I haven't heard a bad thing from him. He was a great guy from everything that I saw. I wish I got to see him live, but 3,562 games. He had over 15,000 plate appearances, 2,165 runs, 18 times more than 150 games where he had over 200 hits. I mean, that is insane. He's a 7-time All-Star. He won 3 World Series, and he was the 1973 MVP. He's going to be missed. It's a travesty that he's not in the Hall of Fame, and they'll probably put him in now that he's dead. But, man, I just want to send my condolences to him and his family. Very sad. He was signing autographs on Sunday, and then for him to die the next day, it was a tragedy, but I just wanted to give him his flowers because he's one of the greatest to ever play the game, kid.
Yeah, Dale. If it wasn't for, the outside noise, Pete Carroll will be considered one of the greatest.
Pete Rose.
Of all time. I mean, yeah, Pete Rose will be considered one of the greatest players of all time. It's not even close. He's one of the baddest dudes to ever play the game. I understand, it is what it is, but we can't deny what he did on the field. So it just sucks. Rest in peace to a legend. Gone too soon. Shout out Pete Rose. And real quick, though, I don't want to end it on that note, though. I think we got to at least give some light. A huge trade went down in the NBA the other day that we never got to discuss about it. I just want to get your opinions real quick. You sent Dante Vincenzo and Julius Randle to Minnesota for Karl Anthony Towns, New Jersey native. 1, how do you feel? And 2, do you think the Knicks got better?
Yeah, I was going to bring it up during our NBA previews, and we are going to start that on Sunday. So in two episodes, we'll start our previews for it. How do I feel? First of all, I felt that we definitely got better. I think defensively, we might be the best team on paper defensively with that.
Oh, I'm surprised you say it on paper, Bill.
On paper, I do think it sucks with Dante. That is my guy. We never got to see the whole Nova Knicks, I guess. So that was very unfortunate. But we couldn't rely going into the season depending on Mitch Robinson. He stretches the floor out. I think he plays better with Cat. He's a home guy. I do worry about New York media eating up Cat. He's kind of soft, if I'm being honest, in that situation. So on paper, it looks good. It sucks with Dante because there's so much potential and volume. I see he had a great playoff season with the Knicks, but getting Mikal Bridges, his minutes were going to get restricted. He wasn't going to get a lot of burn. And with Julius Randle, he needs the ball in his hand. So I think he works better with Ant and Rudy Gobert as opposed to Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson. So, yeah, I think we got better. I think both teams got better. I think both things could be true. I think Minnesota, they got a lot of money off the books because I do think they have to extend Nazir Reed. So that's coming up. And they didn't need 2 big time centers, Rudy Gobert and Cat. They got rid of Cat's contract. We had the money for it. I think both teams got true. I'm just a little hurt because I like the Italian Stallion and Donovan DiVincenzo. What did you think, real quick?
Personally, I think both teams made out pretty well. I think the Timberwolves got a little better, and I think the Knicks honestly made themselves true contenders. Not saying y'all wasn't prior, Dill, but I think right now you're definitely one of the best teams in the NBA. Prior to the trade, I'll say you're, right outside of top 5. Now I'll say top 3, Dill. Karl Anthony Towns, if he can stay healthy, even if who knows what the Knicks could have done if Julius Randle would have been healthy this playoff run. Who knows? So I feel like the Knicks with Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, those two leading you, little sprinkle of Mikal Bridges here and there, Josh Hart. I think y'all can honestly do special things. I could trust Karl Anthony Towns' health moving forward more than Julius Randle. And like you said, Julius Randle, he needs the ball in his hand to impact the game. Carlton Town does it, and he sat passenger shotgun for the past 2 seasons for Anthony Edwards, and he will have no issue taking the second role behind Jalen Brunson. I think that's what it is, because maybe Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, not saying it will, but maybe it causes friction some nights when maybe Julius Randle wants the last shot. Something like that. So I know with Carlton Town and Jalen Brunson, that would never be an issue.
Never. So yeah, no, great points. I was gonna bring it up, but yeah, kid, we're just 22 days away from opening night. So be locked and loaded. We got previews coming up next week. And we're 8 days away from the NHL opening night as well. So we're locked and loaded. It's the best time for gamblers. All our boys out there, if you got girlfriends, let them know ahead of time, because our time is being taken up these next few months. Yeah, I know you and your girlfriend. You got to let her know, hey.
Nah, she already know the schedule. And one thing that works out for your boy, Dill, she's in nursing school right now.
Oh, that's great.
So Monday to Thursday, we're money. On the weekend, it's
you
her time. It's her time. So,
yeah.
Even we went out Saturday. I was watching the Colorado game on my phone. She was like, could you not? I'm like,
that's amazing, because I was upstate and I was having dinner and I had the Bama game on. She said, "Do you need it on?" And I said, "Are you watching this?" Yeah, I do. I do. It's on mute.
Well, after it was 21-0, you kind of shut it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the next few months are gonna be tough for the ladies.
She already knows. From now,
yeah,
so Thanksgiving,
it's tough.
It's tough.
But we will work on it. We'll give you time. All the girlfriends, thank you for being patient with us. But kid, that's going to do it. We will see you guys on Friday, week 5 NFL plays. Good luck. God bless.